The Lake Mills fire captain, killed by a suspected drunk driver on New Year's Eve, is being remembered as a hero.
Two Waukesha women are not pressing charges after finding a stranger sleeping in their dog's bed. We'll explain why.
This is News 3 This Morning.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to News 3 This Morning. I'm Susan Simon, filling in today for Danica Lewis. Danica worked the holiday on New Year's Day. Happy New Year, guys.
Happy New Year. Glad to have you.
I'm happy to be here. It's Wednesday. I have to keep telling myself that. It's Wednesday. We're going to be messed up all week long, and there's a fresh coat of snow outside.
It's beautiful. We were just saying how pretty it was yesterday.
Yeah. It's so pretty outside. We've been waiting so long for this snow, so excited to see the snow on the ground. Here's a look at your first alert weather forecast. We have cloudy skies with some flurries now in Madison. More snow on the way today, just not a whole lot of accumulation. Take a look at Doppler track this morning and you'll see some bands of light to moderate snow, mainly north of Dane County at this hour. It is snowing in Baraboo and the Dells and places like Richland Center. Visibility reduced just a little bit. Any accumulations, though, less than a ½ inch today. Temperatures are right around 20 degrees in many spots this morning, so it's not terribly cold. We'll see highs in the mid-20s this afternoon, which is pretty typical for this time of the year. Here's a look at your first alert traffic this morning. Again, keep in mind any additional snow may make those roads slippery again this morning, but no issues to report here in Madison or in the area. Travel on the interstate is still looking good.
We've had to remind ourselves how to drive in this snow. We haven't really had to this season.
I know, normally that happens in November.
Right.
But we had a real long stretch with no snow.
And there's been a lot of crashes over the holidays, so you have to get your winter driving legs back.
You do.
Yes. All right, thanks, Hattie.
You're welcome.
6:01 your time now. We are expecting to learn more later this morning about a crash on New Year's Eve that killed the Lake Mills fire captain.
That crash happened on the Beltline around 7 Monday night near the Monona Drive exit. Authorities say Captain Chris Truman got out of his car to help someone else who crashed in the snowy conditions when he was hit by a suspected drunk driver. That driver, 28-year-old Samuel Kramers of Columbus, was arrested on suspicion of homicide by intoxicated use of a vehicle. He is in the Dane County Jail this morning waiting for his first court appearance. Meanwhile, Captain Truman is being remembered as a hero this morning for potentially saving another life from being lost in that crash.
Our Christina Laurie joins us live from the Lake Mills Fire Department with those details. Good morning, Christina.
Leah and Susan, people who worked with Captain Truman at the Ace Hardware store here in town say he was always willing to go above and beyond to help other people. That's just the kind of guy he was. That's why it was so characteristic of him Monday night to pull over on the side of the road and help a woman who crashed during that snowstorm. That final act of selflessness ultimately cost Captain Truman his life, and this morning officers here at the Lake Mills Fire Department are remembering him. They posted a message from the family of the woman who Captain Truman stopped to help. They say she got out of her car after skidding and losing control of her car on the snowy roads Monday. Captain Truman pulled up, told her to get back in the car before walking up to her car window and telling her he'd follow her back to safety. That's when the suspected drunk driver hit Truman. He later died at the hospital from his injuries. Now, this morning, we're also hearing messages from the family of the woman Captain Truman helped save, calling Truman their angel forever. And as you can see behind me, there's a memorial up here for Captain Truman. We're waiting more details about this deadly crash. We're expecting those sometime after 7 o'clock this morning. But for now, I'll send it back to you, Susan and Leah.
All right, our Christina Laurie reporting live for us this morning. Thank you, Christina.
Thank you, Christina. New this morning, an 81-year-old woman is recovering in the hospital after her car was hit by a suspected drunk driver overnight. It happened near Easttown Mall on East Washington Avenue at about 11 last night. Madison police say 47-year-old Chad Martin was driving the wrong way down East Wash and crashed head-on into a car driven by an elderly couple before running from the scene. He was later arrested at his mother's house. The woman suffered multiple broken bones and other serious injuries. East Washington Avenue was closed for about an hour and a half overnight due to the crash, but is back open this morning.
One person is dead and others hurt this morning after a crash shut down Highway 26 in Johnson Creek for nearly 6 hours yesterday. It happened just north of the interstate near the Johnson Creek outlets. Investigators say an SUV there was turning onto 26 when it was hit by a semi. One passenger in that SUV died at the scene. MedFlight took other patients to the hospital, but police haven't said how many other people were involved or just how bad those injuries are.
Authorities in Juneau County are investigating a deadly crash. This one happened just before noon yesterday on I-90 near Mauston. Wisconsin State Patrol says a 42-year-old man from Palmyra drove his SUV off the road and into a tree. That crash is still under investigation. A Madison man is facing OWI charges after getting into the wrong car by accident. Around 7:30 yesterday morning on West Gilman Street, someone left their car running while helping a passenger inside a nearby house when they saw someone else driving off with their car. When police pulled the 28-year-old driver over, he appeared to be intoxicated, said he just woke up and wanted to get some bagels.
Two women in Waukesha are thankful that a break-in didn't turn out worse after they woke up to find a stranger sleeping in their dog's bed. Their Mastiff, named Benton, was actually in bed with that intruder, who lives 2 doors down from where he ended up. Police believe he walked up onto their deck and opened the sliding glass window that was left open by mistake. The ladies found him around 5:30 in the morning.
He was passed out on the dog bed, and they woke him up, and he was cooperative and apologetic.
Now, Lynn says the man really didn't do anything wrong other than going into the wrong house. They don't plan to press charges, in part because they say Benton the Mastiff is usually pretty protective, so the fact that he didn't make a peep means the man was probably harmless. Pretty lucky guy there.
That's for sure. A reminder that if you missed your regular garbage pickup because of the New Year holiday and you live in Madison, pickup will be happening today instead. They'll start collecting at 7 this morning, stopping at both houses that normally have Tuesday pickup and the usual Wednesday pickup today. The drop-off sites on Sycamore Avenue and West Badger Road will also reopen today after being closed yesterday.
And with the new year underway, today is your first chance to throw out that Christmas tree. All trees need to be on the curb by 7 this morning. They're going to be collected by January 8th. If you've already had your tree out on the curb and it's since been buried in the snow, you're going to have to dig it out again so it can be picked up. Tree stands and decorations will also need to be removed. And
a reminder about disposing of wreaths and other evergreen decorations. The Department of Consumer Protection is asking you to burn wreaths or to bag them up before tossing them. This comes after inspectors found some invasive insects on wreaths that were sold at chain stores across Wisconsin this season.
All right, 6:07 your time now. As we move ahead to the new year, we're highlighting the people who made a big difference in 2018. We're talking with Madison 365 CEO about their list of Wisconsin's most influential black leaders from this past year.
And a reminder to take it easy on the roads this morning. No big problems to report, but there are some flurries out there in some areas, just enough to make things a little slippery. So we'll have the forecast with Hattie coming up in just a little bit. It is 6:08 right now. We'll be right back.
Good morning from the Hattie-O Patio. It is Wednesday morning, but the first day of the work week for many folks. We have some light flurries coming down here in Madison, some snow across parts of our northern viewing area as well. With that snow on New Year's Eve, we had moisture-wise over 50 inches through the year. So we were in second place as far as wettest years ever here in Madison, just shy of first place by a couple of inches. Keep in mind though, parts of the viewing area that received the real heavy rain in August likely had totals even higher than that. These numbers officially from Madison come from the airport on the northeast side of town. Now we are starting off 2019 on a typical note today, but temperatures are going to warm up quite a bit as we head through the week into the upcoming weekend. We're looking at highs in the 40s. So if you love the snow activities and snow sports, take advantage of the cooler temperatures that we have today, because that snow is going to be melting as we head into the upcoming weekend. Here's a look at the Doppler track though this morning. Some light snow breaking out across parts of the western Great Lakes area. Here in southern Wisconsin, we have a band of light to moderate snow just north of Dane County this morning. So if you are on the interstate north of Madison, you're likely dealing with some snowy conditions already early today. That snow is not expected to add up to a whole lot today, but it will make the roads a little slippery. We have visibility that's down to less than 2 miles in the Dells as well as Mineral Point, so keep that in mind. Temperatures this morning are generally in the 20s, as mild as 27 in Mineral Point right now, 21 in Madison, just 19 in the Dells, and 25 in Janesville. Light southwesterly winds around 5 to 10 miles an hour do send those wind chills back into the teens in most locations. If you are planning on getting outside today and doing something with the snow on the ground, plan on wind chills hovering right around 10 through most of the day. Here's a look at your future track forecast model. And there is that chance for a little bit of light snow on and off through the morning. Should taper off for the afternoon with highs in the middle 20s. Now, as we head into tonight, skies are actually going to begin to clear out. Again, snow potential with this snow event, less than ½ an inch. Here's a look at your extended forecast then. We have sunshine back in the area tomorrow. Temperatures are going to warm above the freezing point tomorrow, and then right around 40 on Friday, into the low 40s for Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. There is a chance for a mix developing Sunday night, changing to rain on Monday, and then a mix again Monday night, ending with some flurries on Tuesday. Let's get a look at those traffic maps though this morning. We'll see what's happening on the roads. Josh Tim has all the details. Good morning, Josh.
Yeah, good morning. So far, looking at a quiet start on the Beltline with no issues showing up yet in either direction at this point. Checking out other routes here in Dane County. Some of the side roads may have some snow and ice on them yet. Just make sure you drive with some caution as you head out the door. No problems at all downtown and on campus. Volume not an issue at this point. And other main routes heading into the city, they're moving along at the posted speeds right now with no major crashes or delays. With your first alert traffic, I'm Josh Tim.
Thank you, Josh. Thank you, Hattie. 6:14 your time now. School district and nonprofit leaders, entrepreneurs, lawyers, and pastors are all being recognized as Wisconsin's most influential black leaders.
Madison 365 puts that list out each year to highlight diverse role models for kids throughout our state. Henry Sanders is the CEO and publisher of Madison 365. Henry, Happy New Year. Good to see you.
Happy New Year. Happy 2019. Here we are.
Here we are, ready or not.
Yeah, right.
Tell us a little bit about this list. How did it get started and what is the purpose of it?
Yeah, so at Madison 365, about 4 years ago, we started this list because we wanted to highlight all the wonderful things people of color were doing in the state. And sometimes when we talk about black community or the Latino community, we talk about the disparities. But I'm like, where do we talk about the positive things, the things that people of color are doing in a positive way to help? And so we put this list together in the state of Wisconsin, and 4 years later, here we are.
42 people on the list.
42.
Did you solicit nominations, or how did you choose these people?
Yeah, so we go around the state and solicit nominations. So I talk to people in different communities, like who are the people who are really moving things in your community. I always say people can move money, policy, or people. And so who are the people in your community doing those things?
Quite a few people in our area were on this list, including Lieutenant Governor-elect Mandela Barnes, Dennis Shields. He's the Chancellor of UW-Platteville.
Yeah. Mandela was great because first African American ever be lieutenant governor.
Right.
And he's young. You know, I guess it's all relative these days. But he's a young guy, and that was wonderful for him to be the first African American to do that. Dennis Shields, you mentioned, was at Platteville, so he's a chancellor at Platteville. I went to Platteville for a semester. Warhawks, I'm a Warhawk though. And so yeah, we have a wonderful list. People like Brandon Williams played football here at the Badgers. He was on the list. Pastor Marcus Allen from Mount Zion, the second oldest black church in the city of Madison, was on the list.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we have a lot of wonderful people doing lots of great stuff on the list. And it was funny when we first started it, people were like, you can't have so many people on the list, you're just going to run out of people doing stuff. And now it's like, I can't have enough. I mean, there's so many people who are doing wonderful things in the state. You just feel bad you left some people off.
That's a good problem to have.
It's a great problem to have.
So it's not just local leaders, it's statewide.
Statewide.
People across the state.
Yeah, statewide. We really want to highlight all the things going on in the state because we really want to attract and retain people of color here in our state of Wisconsin. Again, we hear some of the biggest disparities by our state, but what can we do to make sure we attract and retain some of our brightest here in the state? So this is part of that issue.
Something you said in the article that I really liked is how important this is for kids. It's really inspiring for them to see these people succeed, right?
It is. You know, the first year we did it, I had mothers and parents calling me crying.
Really?
Because they're like, you know what, we never see these, our kids never get to see people of color doing these wonderful things. I literally had parents crying and calling me. So that actually touched me when I had people in the schools like, hey, look, you know what, my kids need to see this.
And then later this year, you also do a Latino list of leaders as well, right?
We do. So we do a Latino list every year. Also, we partner with the Milwaukee Brewers, and we do a list with them. And every year we go out there and partner and do some wonderful events, annual events, same premise, highlight people of color across the state.
Great work, important work.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for coming up and waking up this early and talking to us about
Thank
it.
you, thank you.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Henry. Great to see you.
Thank
Continued success.
Thank you.
Well, when we come back, we're welcoming a new member to the Madison community. This is my favorite story of the year, the New Year's baby, the first bundle of joy of 2019.
Looking forward to that. And Hattie is talking about a little bit of snow that might be possible for today. The little ones might want to bundle up for a little bit of sledding. It's gorgeous outside. Hattie is talking about those flurries and then some sun coming up this weekend. That's ahead in her First Alert forecast.
Good morning, I'm meteorologist Hattie McLean. We're dealing with a little bit of light snow again this morning. Some flurries in Madison, but some light to moderate snow now falling. Areas north of Dane County, parts of Columbia County and Sauk County up towards the Dells. Seeing that light snow already early today. It's not going to add up to much. Any accumulation will be less than ½ an inch. Our current temperatures are right around 20 in many spots, although a couple of locations are a little warmer. It's 27 this morning in Mineral Point and 25 in Janesville. Here's a look at your bus stop weather forecast. You'll definitely need all the snow gear at school today. Some light snow is possible through the morning, just cloudy skies on the way home from school with highs in the middle 20s. Have a wonderful day.
All right, thank you so much, Hattie. 6:22 your time now. A new law in place for 2019 now requires the state and its insurers to pay for transgender surgery for all of its employees. When it was approved last fall, a U.S. district judge said there was no legal reason to exclude medically necessary care for employees. The ACLU says the decision is a step toward ensuring that transgender people's rights to simply be themselves are protected. This all came about after a UW graduate student and med school researcher both filed a lawsuit last year when they were denied treatment their doctors had determined was a necessary part of the gender transition.
The state of Illinois will now join Wisconsin in letting hunters wear blaze pink along with blaze orange. The governor in Illinois approved the bill last year, expanding the color options for hunting this year in 2019. The pink still has to be equally as bright, though, as blaze orange.
Minimum wage will increase in 20 states in the new year, including our neighbors to the west. Minnesota's minimum wage will increase to adjust to inflation, meaning big employers now have to pay workers $9.86. That's up 21 cents from last year. Workers for smaller employers will see a 17-cent hike at $8.04.
There are some new parents welcoming in the new year with a new addition to the family.
We'll be able to pop off fireworks and champagne in celebration of multiple things.
Parents Laura and Brian Gamont are excited that for the rest of his life, baby Lance will celebrate his birthday with the biggest party of the year. He was the first baby born in 2019 at St. Mary's Hospital, born New Year's Day at 6:27 a.m., weighing 7 pounds 7 ounces and measuring 21 inches long. Lance came 8 days early, which was a little bit of a surprise for his mom and dad.
For us, just getting a happy, healthy baby was first and foremost, and making sure mom was good along the way too. But having kind of that calendar flip is, I don't know, something special that just kind of feels like, hey, great to have a birthday that day too.
Yeah, exactly. No. He is absolutely beautiful, guys. Congratulations. Laura is excited that Lance will probably always have the day off of work now for his birthday because it's a holiday. Just down the street at Meriter, another baby was born 30 minutes before Lance.
All right, you might have rang in the new year by watching the crystal ball drop in Times Square, but that's not how they do it in Plymouth, Wisconsin. As the self-proclaimed cheese capital of the world, Plymouth has a cheese drop. That's what you're watching right now. They lower an 80-pound fake wedge of cheese made from sheet metal from a fire truck ladder to mark the new year every year.
I love that.
I love that story too.
There were all kinds of neat ones for New Year's Eve. Did you see that? There was, they dropped a giant peep in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. And they dropped the best one I saw was a 200-pound bologna in Lebanon, Pennsylvania as well.
Being a Wisconsin girl, I'm all about the cheese, although it's fake. Why isn't it real?
Exactly. Come on. You got to do
a massive cheese party afterward?
Yeah.
My kind of
like
party.
The way you're thinking.
All right, 6:25 your time now. We want to let you know there is one school delay in our area this morning. Riverdale School District out in southwest Wisconsin is on a 2-hour delay because of weather problems out that neck of the woods. Still ahead on the program, though, President Trump is going to meet with congressional leaders for the first time since the government shutdown started. We'll preview that meeting coming up.
And the La Follette High School principal says he is leaving after recent concerns with violence and student behavior. We'll have more when News 3 This Morning returns. It's 6:25 right now. We'll be right back.
President Trump is meeting with congressional leaders today to try and end the partial government shutdown.
And saving a life while sacrificing his own. Officers here at the Lake Mills Fire Department are remembering Captain Truman this morning as we await more details about the deadly crash that took his life.
This is News 3 This Morning.
Good morning and welcome to the final half hour of News 3 This Morning. It's 6:29 now on this Wednesday, January 2nd. We're starting off the new year with Susan Simon in for Danica.
Good morning.
Glad to have you.
Happy to be here. We let Danica sleep in a little bit this morning because she did the New Year's holiday last night, so she did the 10 o'clock news.
She worked late.
Yeah.
But you're on a coffee drip this morning. How's it going?
Yeah, well, it's the first day back after a long break, so that's always a little bit of a transition. Everybody getting ready to go back to work and some back to school. Madison kids have a couple more days off, but a lot of other kids are up and at 'em this morning, getting back to normal. Let's head out to the weather patio. A fresh coat of snow on the ground from the New Year holiday. Hi, Hattie. It's beautiful back there.
Good morning. It is absolutely gorgeous outside this morning, and we still have a few flurries flying here in Madison. There is some light snow in our forecast today. Now, it's not going to add up to much, but keep in mind that you want to remember those winter driving skills once again. Might get a little slippery in some spots. Here's the view from the Queen Bee Radio Sky Cam in Platteville. Just cloudy skies there. Looking at the radar map, though, this morning, or the visibility map, you see that visibility is down to 2.5 miles of Mineral Point. Some improvement, though, in the Dells, which is good news. Earlier, visibility was less than 2 miles there. Here's a look at Doppler track. We are watching some bands of light to moderate snow shift north of Madison at this hour. There is, though, a chance for all of southern Wisconsin to see at least a little bit of light snow through the morning hours today. Here's a look at your out-the-door forecast. As you get ready to go on your way this morning, temperatures will be right around 20 degrees, climbing only a few degrees to highs in the mid-20s. Again, some light snow is expected through the morning hours, but it should taper off for the afternoon. Here's a look at your first alert traffic maps early today. So far on the roads, things have been pretty quiet, and it looks like that trend continues right now. Although as volume increases, I would expect those travel speeds to slow down just a little bit. Nothing, though, standing in your way right now on any of the major routes into Madison. And that's your first alert traffic.
All right. Thank you so much, Hattie. 6:31 your time now. We are expecting to learn more later this morning about a crash on New Year's Eve that killed a Lake Mills fire captain.
That crash happened on the Beltline around 7 Monday night near the Monona Drive exit. Authorities say Captain Chris Truman got out of his car to help someone else who crashed in the snowy conditions when he was hit by a suspected drunk driver. That driver, 28-year-old Samuel Kramers of Columbus, was arrested on suspicion of homicide by intoxicated use of a vehicle. He is in the Dane County Jail this morning waiting for his first court appearance. Meanwhile, Captain Truman is being remembered this morning as a hero for potentially saving another life from being lost in that crash.
Our Christina Laurie joins us live from the Lake Mills Fire Department with those details. Good morning, Christina.
Good morning, Susan and Leah. People who worked with Captain Truman say he was always willing to go above and beyond to help other people, and that couldn't have been more evident in his final act of selflessness Monday night when he pulled over on the side of the road to help a woman who had crashed during Monday night's snowstorm. Now, this morning, officers here are remembering him with this memorial, also with messages they posted to their Facebook page. They shared a message from the family of the woman who Captain Truman stopped to help. They say she got out of her car after skidding and losing control of her car on the snowy roads Monday night. That's when Captain Truman pulled up and told her to get back in her car before walking up to her car window and telling her he'd follow her back to safety. That's when the suspected drunk driver hit Truman. He later died at the hospital from his injuries. Now, the family of the woman killed say they are completely heartbroken for the Truman family. They cannot imagine their loss, but they want them to know that they will always regard Truman as their angel. Now, we're awaiting more details about this crash. We're expecting to hear those sometime after 7 o'clock this morning, and when we do, we'll bring those to you both on air and online. Susan and Leah.
Very sad story. Christina Laurie reporting live. Christina, thank you.
In Milwaukee, a man, a woman, and a child are all dead after what started as a police chase ended with the car crashing into a river. Police say they were trying to pull over the car that was suspected in a number of robberies when the driver took off, lost control, and crashed into the river. Dive teams found the bodies of the 3 people who were inside the car, including that of a child. Turning to politics now, leaders from both parties are expected to meet with President Trump to talk about border security as we move into day 12 of the government shutdown. Presumptive House Speaker Nancy Pelosi says Democrats will reopen the government when they take control of the House tomorrow. But she told her colleagues that their legislation won't contain funding for the border wall. Meanwhile, the Smithsonian Museums and Zoo are both closed today after running out of money.
In just a few days, Wisconsin will have a new governor as Governor-elect Tony Evers prepares to take office January 7th. Meanwhile, Governor Scott Walker is talking about what's next for him. Governor Walker said once he leaves office, he plans to travel the country to be an advocate for conservative issues like returning power to the states and tax reform. Governor Walker announced these plans in his New Year address yesterday. In that email, he said he will stay in Wisconsin, but plans to join a number of organizations, including a speakers bureau, and he will work to help re-elect President Donald Trump. The official inauguration ceremony for Governor-elect Tony Evers and Lieutenant Governor-elect Mandela Barnes will take place Monday, January 7th at 11 a.m. with a celebratory gala planned for that evening.
After concerns about class scheduling, student behavior, and even violence around the school, the principal of La Follette High School says he's going to resign after this school year. Sean Storch tweeted just before winter break that he would step down from his position this summer. Among recent concerns at that school, you might remember a teenager was shot during a group fight near the high school back in September.
Construction could start later this year on a new elementary school in the Middleton Cross Plains School District. That new kindergarten through 4th grade building would be built on Old Sauk Road, just west of Pope Farm Conservancy and close to a new housing development there. The district is able to pay for the new school thanks to a nearly $144 million referendum approved by voters this past November. Madison's Urban Design Commission will look at plans for the 28-acre site at its meeting tonight. Someone in New York is starting off the new year right after winning last night's Mega Millions jackpot. That story's coming up in the morning sprint.
And there might be a new place on the west side for you to pick out some new couch pillows and throw rugs. The future of the former Sam's Club building is coming up next on News 3 This Morning. Welcome back. We always ask you to share your morning with us here on the program, and Chuck posted this gorgeous photo over on Facebook. It's of Lake Koshkonong. Isn't that great?
Boy, winter can be beautiful.
It can. This is a good reminder.
A little moment of zen to start January 2nd. That is absolutely beautiful. Chuck, thank you for sharing. What does your morning look like? Take a picture and post it on the Channel 3000 Facebook page or on Twitter. Use the hashtag #MyNews3thismorning and we'll share our favorites right here on News 3. See, you guys have perks at this hour of the day.
We do. That keeps me happy. All right, the old Sam's Club building over on Madison's west side is one step closer to becoming a new home decor store. The city's Urban Design Commission is looking at where At Home wants to put up signs before the store opens on Watts Road. That company is moving into the vacant building after Walmart rejected a proposal to have the Boys and Girls Club of Dane County take over the space instead. If it's approved, this would be the third At Home location here in Wisconsin. There's no word yet on when exactly it's going to open.
If you live in Rock County, you can now get medical care from the comfort of your very own home. Mercy Health has launched an online resource called Mercy Health Virtual Visit that allows patients to connect with primary care providers from their phones, tablets, and computers. Patients who have minor illnesses, such as the ones we've listed there on your screen, can use this service. Wisconsin providers are available virtually from 8 to 5 Monday through Friday and can even prescribe medication during those consultations. You can visit mercyhealthvirtualvisitnow.org for an online appointment.
All right, after finally getting some snow instead of rain this season, we did have to wait, but now there's more on the way.
Patty says we should see some light snowfall today, but the rest of the week looks pretty clear. Her first alert forecast is coming up at 6:41 right now. We'll be right back.
But first, it's January 2nd. We want to say happy birthday to Moses, Lorenzo, and all the little kiddos turning 3 today. Thanks for celebrating with us here on News 3 This Morning. Welcome back. Trending on Twitter this morning, the Boilermakers are mourning their biggest fan after he lost his battle with cancer.
It's very sad, but also very inspiring. Purdue student Tyler Trent passed away yesterday from a rare bone cancer. He was only 20 years old. His story sparked hope across the country as people watched him battle his cancer with maturity and positivity. In November, he received an award considered the highest honor for Indiana citizens, and just last week was named honorary captain at the Music City Bowl. Coach Jeff Brome talked to reporters about Tyler at that game.
His strength has helped us overcome things along the way, to see how he's handled himself with class, with dignity, with a great attitude, great smile, always trying to do the right thing and say the right thing and to help other people, always grateful for what he has. So we learned a lot from him.
Tyler dreamed of becoming a national sports writer. Along with his love of sports, he loved doing good, raising money for research and recruiting students to do service projects for families with cancer.
What a great way to remember him.
Very
I bet his
inspiring.
family really appreciates all of that.
Oh, yeah.
All right, 6:45 your time now. Over to Hattie with a look at our forecast today, which has some flurries out there. Right, Hads?
Yeah, a few flurries or light snow showers definitely in the forecast today. We finally have some snow on the ground. Take a look at this picture taken Tuesday morning. Kathy sent it in on her morning walk with her dog. I believe the dog's name is Joey. What a beautiful sight from the Ice Age Trail. Everything just coated in snow across the Madison area and southern Wisconsin. Now with that snow that we picked up on the 31st, 3.9 inches officially at Madison. That takes the December totals to just under 6 inches of snow. Little light for the month of December. Season totals though were only at 9.3 inches, so about half of what we would normally have by this time in the season. We'll see if we can catch up in the new year. We'll definitely be adding a little bit of snow today. Take a look at the radar map. You'll see a pretty wide band of snow stretching across the central part of the state this morning. It's impacting areas mainly north of Madison right now. We've seen a few flurries here in the Madison area. Fair game though for all of southern Wisconsin to see some light snow or flurries today. They're just not going to add up to much. We're looking at total precipitation accumulation less than a half an inch for southern Wisconsin. Some spots won't even see any accumulation today. So not to worry too much about that snow. It may create some slippery spots on the roads though. Temperatures are definitely below freezing this morning here in southern Wisconsin, and look how quickly it cools off. 8 in Minneapolis this morning, only 1 degree above zero in International Falls. Some negative numbers start to appear on the map when you factor in the wind. It feels like 12 below in International Falls, 5 below in Minneapolis. Our wind chill here in Madison right about 10 degrees. So still a little chilly this morning. Future track will show you that with a warm front though moving in from the west. Southwesterly winds are going to start to warm things up a little bit across southern Wisconsin. As far as precipitation is concerned with that front, not expecting to see much. Just a shift in the winds and warmer temperatures. Things stay pretty quiet through the end of this week. Here's a look at your pinpoint city forecast highs for today. Fort Atkinson and Watertown, you're topping at 25 degrees. Evansville, 26, and Stoughton will hit a high of 27 degrees. To the west, cloudy skies, any flurries tapering off by the afternoon. 25 for a high in Dodgeville and 26 in Mineral Point. And then to the north, we're looking at Baraboo hitting a high of 23 degrees today, 24 for Montello. Cloudy skies will linger through the daytime today, but begin to clear out as we head into tonight. Here's a look at that extended forecast. We finally have some sunshine in the area starting tomorrow with a high of 34. And then we're back into the 40s on Saturday and Sunday. So starting off the new year kind of mild. What that means though is that you need to enjoy the snow while it's on the ground this morning, because that's going to be melting.
The next couple of days will be perfect though to get out and enjoy it.
I think so, yeah. Not terribly cold.
Oh, who's this?
Aoki, warming by the vent. What a good place.
Oh,
Smart dog.
that's so
She's
cute.
got it figured out.
Keeping the paws warm.
Yeah.
What a cute puppy.
All right, thank you, Hattie.
You're welcome.
Stay with us. The Morning Sprint is up next.
Welcome back, everybody. It's 6:52 right now. Time for the morning sprint. Hattie is talking about a chance for flurries coming up on this Wednesday.
And Christina Laurie is live at the Lake Mills Fire Department, where people are remembering a fire captain killed in a crash on New Year's Eve. That crash happened on the Beltline around 7 Monday night near the Monona Drive exit. Authorities say Captain Chris Truman got out of his car to help someone else who'd crashed in the snowy conditions when he was hit by a suspected drunk driver. That driver, 28-year-old Samuel Kramers of Columbus, was arrested on suspicion of homicide by intoxicated use of a vehicle. He's in the Dane County Jail this morning, waiting for his first court appearance.
We're awaiting a press conferences from officers here at the Lake Mills Fire Department this morning, where we expect to learn more details about the death of Captain Truman following Monday night's crash. The captain was hit and killed by a suspected drunk driver as he got out of his car to help a woman who crashed on the snow-covered Beltline Monday night. Captain Truman is being remembered as a hero who sacrificed his own life to save another. The family of the woman who Truman helped save says he will always be an angel in their eyes.
An 81-year-old woman is recovering this morning in the hospital after her car was hit by a suspected drunk driver overnight near Easttown Mall. Madison police say 47-year-old Chad Martin was driving the wrong way down East Washington Avenue and crashed head-on into a car driven by an elderly couple before running from the scene. He was later arrested at his mother's house. The woman suffered multiple broken bones and other serious injuries.
One person is dead and others hurt this morning after a crash shut down Highway 26 near the Johnson Creek Outlet Mall for nearly 6 hours yesterday. Investigators say an SUV was turning onto 26 when it was hit by a semi. One passenger in that SUV died at the scene. MedFlight took other patients to the hospital, but police haven't said how many other people were involved or how bad their injuries are.
Overseas, 6 people are dead and 16 injured after a train accident this morning in Denmark. It happened on the Great Belt Bridge that links 2 Danish islands. Officials say debris from a freight train hit a commuter train on the way to Copenhagen during a heavy storm. Police say there was considerable damage, and they are still investigating the cause of the accident.
And we have some light snow in the forecast today. Currently, some light snow falling north of Madison. Any accumulations, though, today will be less than ½ an inch. Temperatures will climb to highs in the mid-20s with a southwest wind this afternoon.
Thank you, Hattie. Leaders from both parties are expected to meet with President Trump to talk about border security as we move into day 12 of the partial government shutdown. Presumptive House Speaker Nancy Pelosi says Democrats would reopen the government once they take control of the House tomorrow, but she told her colleagues that their legislation won't contain funding for the border wall. The Smithsonian Museums and Zoo are both closed today after running out of money.
In just a few days, Wisconsin will have a new governor as Governor-elect Tony Evers prepares to take office January 7th. The official inauguration ceremony for Evers and Lieutenant Governor-elect Mandela Barnes is at 11 a.m. with a celebratory gala planned for that evening.
Meanwhile, Governor Walker is talking about what's next for him once he leaves office. He says he plans to travel the country to advocate for conservative issues like returning powers to the states and tax reform. He announced those plans in his New Year's address yesterday. In that email, he said he will stay here in Wisconsin, but plans to work with groups to help get President Trump reelected.
After concerns about class scheduling, student behavior, and violence around the school, the La Follette High School's principal says he will resign after this school year. Sean Storch tweeted just before winter break that he would step down from his position this summer. Among recent concerns at the school, you may recall a teenager was shot during a large group fight near La Follette High School in September.
Madison Streets crews will be out to pick up garbage for houses that normally have Tuesday and Wednesday pickups. Also, today is your first chance to throw out your Christmas tree. All trees should be out on the curb by 7 this morning. They'll be collected by January 8th.
Someone in New York is waking up richer this morning after winning the Mega Millions drawing last night. The New Year's Day jackpot was the 8th largest in history at $425 million. This year is the 5th time Mega Millions has been drawn on the first day of a new year. This year is only the 2nd time it's ever been won.
All right, 6:56 your time now. Let's turn it over to Josh Tim with a look at your first alert traffic. Hey, Josh.
Yeah, it's picking up on the westbound side of the Beltline already between on Stoughton Road and West Broadway, it's going to add a couple minutes to your drive. Usual brake lights on inbound John Nolan near the Rimrock and Olin Avenue intersections. That's going to add a few minutes heading into the downtown area. And other main routes leading into the city, they're moving along at the usual speeds right now with no major crashes or delays. With your First Alert traffic, I'm Josh Tim.
Thanks, Josh.
Yeah, it's pretty cloudy outside. We've had a few flurries here in Madison, some light snow north of the city. Keep that in mind as you hit the roads today. Temperatures will climb to highs in the mid-20s this afternoon. Light snow should taper off, though, as we head to the afternoon hours. That extended forecast, though, has warmer temperatures and more sunshine heading into the weekend.
Ooh, love the sound of that. All right, thank you, Hattie, and thank you, Susan, for waking up so early and joining us this morning.
It was good to be here. Happy to do it.
All right, head back home and go to bed.
All right, Happy New Year, everybody. Have a great day.
Making plans that are weather dependent? Get an accurate 12-hour, even a 10-day forecast. Download the Channel 3000 First Alert Weather app and start planning.